Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ground Up with Natalee, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on what it actually takes to build a career in the entertainment industry as an actor. I sit down with actors, directors, and casting directors to talk about the real, unfiltered journey, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. No gatekeeping, no overnight success myths, just honest conversations to remind you that you're not alone and that you too can follow this dream. I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ground Up with Natalee. Today, I have Karlee Fomalont, who is an iconic casting director, you guys. She's a New York-based, award-winning casting director who won the Casting Society of America Award for Outstanding Achievement in Casting for a big budget feature for the Oscar-nominated film, A Complete Unknown. She cast all of Power Book 3 Raising Kanan. She also cast yours truly in Power Book Raising Kanan. She's currently casting Power Origins. Guys, I am so excited for this episode. I ask her every actor's dream question to ask a casting director, and she answers it with so much depth and knowledge and care for us actors. And as I always say, get your pen and paper out. If you're driving, obviously don't. But it is such a good episode, and you're going to get so many nuggets out of it. She's just a wonderful human being, and I think this will help take the barrier down between us actors and casting. And as you guys are listening to this, you'll realize that, like, she's just a human. She just has really great thoughts. She's a human with great thoughts. So let's get into the episode. Okay, Karlee, welcome to Ground Up with Natalee. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We start every episode with the Ground Up 3, so I'm dying to know, where are you from, Karlee?
I'm from LA. Yeah.
Born and raised?
Born and raised, yeah.
And then?
Santa Monica and then Topanga Canyon.
Where'd you go to high school?
Pali.
Wow.
Pali High.
You're like OG LA.
I'm LA. Yeah, I'm West Side down.
You must know a lot of actors who are like now working actors who were born and raised in LA too?
Yeah, like I knew a lot of the Crossroad people like Alden and, you know, some folks like that. But I don't know, it's funny. I mostly like didn't know. I felt like I didn't know a lot of people in the industry. And then later I was like, oh, I guess that was your mom. Or
yeah.
Like I pieced it together.
Right, you're like, I'm just a kid in school. Like,
but
I don't know.
Growing up, it felt just kind of like normal suburbia, I guess.
Yeah,
in a
that
weird
makes
way.
sense. I love suburbia. I'm such a suburbia girl.
I do really enjoy LA for its suburban qualities.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's comfy. What was your first job?
My first job
in casting, unless it was, but like your first paid job.
Imagine
ever.
if my first paid job ever was me casting at like,
You're like
15
17,
years old.
yeah.
Not even a little bit. I worked at my sleepaway camp, my Jewish sleepaway camp. I would do like summers as a counselor, and I taught dance. I was like a dance teacher at my sleepaway camp.
That sounds like the best first job
It
ever.
was really fun because I was doing the thing that I would have paid to do, but now I'm getting paid to be there with all my friends that are also would have paid, but now we're all just there.
I always say my favorite memories of childhood are sleepaway camp.
Oh, it was life defining. Yeah, it changed my life.
The fact that we can't do that as an adult,
it's a real bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what was your first dream job?
My first dream job, I would say, was to be a ballerina. I grew up doing a lot of ballet.
Okay.
I was very obsessed with dance, very obsessed with ballet. But then I kind of, thought about the realities of the life as a dancer. I also was told a lot as a kid that I like lacked focus because I liked a lot of things. So I had like our 5th grade graduation, they played a video that all the little kids were like, what's your dream job? What do you want to be when you grow up? And they took mine and they used it as like the comedic interspersing between everyone else's like one answer. Because my list was like, I want to be a ballerina and I want to be a professional world traveler. I want to be an interior decorator. I want to be a seeing eye dog trainer. And I want to be an architect because I was obsessed with Julia Morgan and I loved architecture. And coming from California, there's a lot of iconic Julia Morgan architecture.
You ended up doing none of those things.
No, I love dogs. I do love to travel.
Yeah, you incorporate it all. I mean, ballet is art. That's for damn sure.
Totally. And it's like a kind of, segue into what I ended up finding, which was even in college at NYU, I was told a lot that I lacked focus and I liked too many things. And they were like, well, just pick one and do that. And I was like, but I can't.
Yeah.
I like dancing. I like singing. I'm very like school, A+B = C student. I like the type A stuff. Like there was too many things that I was interested in. And then someone very graciously told me about casting, and I realized that it was the intersection. I could take all of my interests in art, in culture, in dance, in singing, in acting technique, in producing, in directing, in writing, and I can fuse it all into one job.
So what did you go to NYU for?
I went to NYU for musical theater.
So did you want to be an actor too?
I came in wanting to be an actor. Well, I came in wanting to do something in entertainment in the world of dancing, singing, acting.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure exactly what it was.
You weren't dead set on like, I need to be in TV and film, or I need to be on Broadway?
No, I think I just loved the world so much and I loved doing it so much that I just kind of figured it would become clear once I kind of got into it. My dad very wisely used to tell me that like the no's were just as important as the yeses, and that you kind of like, it's like a series of trial and error of like you edit down the things that aren't right for you until you find the thing that is. And so I kind of came into it being like, okay, here's all the things. Let me just like throw it all against the wall and like slowly peel back anything that isn't working for me and see what sticks.
It's so nice that you grew up with someone that supported you in that way, that was able to tell you like, no, fail. Like, that's good.
It's true.
Her dad is here, by the way.
They're maybe watching, but I didn't mean to shout him out, but shout out to my dad.
It just came out organically.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what, I do some mentoring or whatever. And I'm like, you're just one step, like fail yesterday, like get those no's out of the way. Yes. Cause you need, I think, I want to say like 200 no's on like a specific thing before you like get one yes, at least for me. Like,
yeah, that seems right.
Audition wise, it was 300 before my first booking.
Wow.
But yeah, you need to get, cause how do you know what you're doing if not?
Yeah.
You have to learn with your boots on the ground.
Yeah. It's like the best way to learn is to do, for sure.
So you moved to New York at 17.
I did.
Is that because did you graduate high school early?
I'm very young for my grade.
Okay, you're young for your grade.
Yeah.
Love that, because you're a September baby.
Yeah,
I'm
September.
old for my grade.
Yeah.
October baby. Okay, so you moved at 17.
I did.
You flew out of the nest and you went to NYU for 4 years.
Yep.
Studied theater all 4 years?
I was in musical theater for the first 3 years.
Okay.
And then I went into the screen acting program for the last year. And then that's where it all made sense to me and it all came together.
So you said someone told you about casting.
Yes.
Was it at NYU?
It was at NYU. I was in Stone Street's the program for screen acting. And I like musical theater. I loved so many of the different avenues of training. And I love that I got to like, nurture the dance, the singing, like all the things, but coming together like didn't make sense for me. And they kind of didn't know what to do with me. And it was just like the philosophy at that time from training in musical theater was very like, we're going to break you down to build you back up. Or we want to make you as like, not generic, but as like blending into an ensemble as possible, because it means that you'll work more. And especially for the ones like me who are more on like the dance track that could sing and act, like I was very like,
they're like, we know where to place you, so just follow these rules.
Yeah, and they were kind of like, well, if you want to work a lot, if your strength is dance, then you need to blend in and you need to be in the ensemble and you need to be able to like, so a lot of it was like taking away point of view and encouraging blending. And that just like was hard for me to figure out, and they didn't really know what to do with me in that. And then screen acting, it was the complete flip where they were like, it's all about honing your point of view and individuality. And you look around, like in dance class at Cap 21, they'd say like, look around, everyone here's your competition. And they would turn dance classes into fake auditions. And it was really competitive. And they would tell you at the end why this person got the job and you didn't get the job. And it just was constantly fueling, like you would look around and feel like your peers were coming to get you and like they were your competition. But in screen acting, it was look around, your peers or your support system. This is a symbiotic relationship. Everyone here has their own point of view. Whatever you're doing is different than what your friend is doing. And if you're going in for the same audition, that's good. That's okay. And it means that you're going to do your different versions of it. And hopefully one of you gets it. And if one of you doesn't, there will be another one for you. It just wasn't your job. And I was like, what? It was just like a healthier way to like exist and think about
musical
industry.
Theater seems brutal.
I'm hoping it's gotten better. But at the time it was very like, this is how, cutthroat. Oh, very old school in that way, I think. So
when you did that this is like your interpretation of taking that screen actors class at NYU seems so different than what I've heard going to school for TV and film is like. It sounds like that's actually legit. And they were like, no, you're going to go out there, you're going to audition. Because a lot of people go to school for 4 years and they're like, I didn't learn how to pursue a career in TV and film at all during my years. So did you learn a lot from what you see is true now, looking at how to pursue a career in acting?
I think it was less about, I did learn a lot of tactile things and now I go back and I teach at NYU often, or I'll teach at colleges and I'll come in with like a whole, like I had a teacher who on the first day of screen acting, he was like, I'm going to call roll and I'm going to ask you guys a basic question about the industry. And at that point I'd done some internships at Abrams and I was kind of interested in the business side of things. And I felt like I had a good, like, I kind of know the lay of the land, like in New York. And I was like, okay, I'm so ready. And I couldn't answer like any of these questions. And I was like, how are people graduating? Not knowing what's, especially at NYU, what's literally outside of our doors. Like, this is crazy. And I could answer probably better than a lot of people. My friend Rachel knew every single answer. And I was like, of course, she's been like auditioning. And but if you weren't having like real world experience, like you were just missing out on what was like right there. And so I've taken that now where I go back. I've now also polled all of my NYU friends. I'm like, okay, what do you wish you knew then that you know now? And I made a whole list of people, of things, like basic names of places, of casting directors, of agencies, of how to read a day out of days, how to read a call sheet, like things you just don't learn in school.
Do not learn. It's like how we don't learn about taxes in high school.
It's exactly
like,
that.
How do we not know how to do that?
You're doing crazy calculus, but you don't know basic life skills.
Wait,
and
that's so
it was
cool that you took that apart and you wrote down everything. That's like literally what I'm trying to do on the podcast is like break down that. And it's like, okay, if you didn't go to school or even if you did, listen to this because it's just actors sharing their real stories of like, so I landed in LA and I had no idea what I was doing. And here's what I learned over the last 8 years of pursuing this. So I want to like pick your brain about that offline and be like, what did they say?
No, it's fun. It's really fun.
Okay. So let's get into your casting process. So you graduate and everything. How did you, someone talked to you about casting, you got inspired by it and you're like, ooh, I feel like I can mold everything that I love and do this thing called casting. What was the first step into figuring that out? Did you intern for a casting director?
So I will say her name for the rest of time. This woman named Michal Zecker. She was a casting director at that point, now is a manager. She came to Stone Street and we would do these like Monday night audition things. Like an agent, a manager, a casting director would come every Monday night and we would have one-on-one meetings with them.
And you were an actor at this point.
And I was an actor at this point. But I was having like an existential crisis about it because I was like, I don't know, like at the life, and I was watching my best friend from college at the time was like, Rachel Brosnahan was like starting to like really like get traction and auditioning. I was like seeing up close what that required. And I was like, I think I don't want that. What you're doing works so well for you, and I literally could never.
By the way, so commendable that you were like, oh, I actually don't like this, versus like your ego being like, well, no, I said I'm going to be an actor, and like that's what I want to do. Even though, but you were like honest with yourself, which I feel like a lot of people aren't sometimes.
This is like another thing I say when I go back and teach at NYU is like you have to follow the doors that open, and you have to be like open to pivoting or to something that inspires you more than the thing that you've decided in your mind is the best thing for you. And I think I realized like I'm maybe not the most talented person at NYU. I have talent, like, and I love this, and I really like. I'm very academic, so I really understood and like loved learning about technique and things that like I could actually like tactilely use to grow and get better. But I was like, I don't love it. I don't want to. I'm losing my passion when I put it on the line for an outcome or and I was like starting to really like panic about how little I liked doing it when I had to do it in that way.
And by the way, that's what we do. It's the process. It's not even the reward. It's so little out of it. So you have to love that part of it.
Yes.
And you were like, I don't love this part of it.
Yes. And I was like, I'm too type A and I'm too controlling and I need like, there was all these things that I was starting to like really grapple with about the life that I was like signing up for. And so I tried different internships. I like really tried to like poke around and see like, is this right? Or how do I make this right for myself? And so I had this audition with this casting director and I was like finding more of the film and TV world. Was like, I was clicking with it more. It all made sense more. But I did my little scene. We sat down and she was like, so like, and it was the first time I'd ever met like a young, cool casting director or like maybe a casting director at all. I think I just had the idea in my head that they were like scary and judgy and like, I don't know, just like not nice people. And she was like cool and young and curious and was asking like, oh, what kind of stuff are you guys watching? Like, what do you like? And I was like, whoa, she like cares about our taste. And it was just like, I never experienced anything like it. And so I think it was very disarmed. Otherwise this would have never happened. And And she was like, yeah, like, what do you want to do when you graduate? And I was like, oh, well, I don't know.
Funny you should ask.
Funny you should ask. I was like, I mean, I love acting and I love actors and I'm kind of obsessed with like people and connections and like, but I don't know if I want like the lifestyle of the actor. And like, I really like the idea of writing, but I don't want to write a whole, like I like little bits and bobs of writing and I like directing, but I only want to deal with actors, and I like producing, but I don't want to deal with the money. And I'm like listing all these things. And she was like, have you ever thought about casting? And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And like suddenly I was like, in my gut, I was like, I have to have this job. I have to do it. I was just like, I didn't know that was an option. And she was like, yeah, casting is like the intersection of like all the departments. Like you work with the ADs, like you're dealing with scheduling, you work with the agents. Like, cause I was like, working at an agency was boring. Everything interesting happened somewhere else. And you'd get a call that was like, this great thing happened. And I was like, I want to be there. And so, but then I liked the kind of like business, the bartering, like all that stuff I was really interested in. So she was like, you get to do all the stuff you liked about being at the agency, but with the creative. And you get to be in the room and you get to work with the actors, you get to direct actors, you get to produce, like it's attachments and money conversations. And it's a lot of producing without dealing with actually budgets and things that I didn't want to deal with. And I was like, well, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Like, how do I do it?
Yeah.
Sign me up. And she was like, well, you got to get an internship. I was like, can you get me an internship? And she was like, yeah, I think I probably could. And I was like, okay. And so I pretty much stalked her until she got me an internship.
With her?
She got me an internship at CBS. And so my second semester of senior year, I alternated every other day, CBS on camera class, CBS on camera. So the format of my day was exactly the same. And the best thing about CBS, which I mourn the loss of the intern because it was such a crucial point of my life, that they had their interns run camera. So I got to be in the room as an intern, which is like invaluable. So I got the bug immediately.
Yeah.
And I always told myself, well, if I ever get like audition envy, like if I'm in the room and I'm watching someone do something and I'm like, I could do it better. Just like, let me try it. I get it. I know what needs to happen. And it was in almost 14 years, that's never happened. Like truly, I get it and I see what has to happen in my head. And I'm like, oh, thank God I can now tell you to go do it and I don't have to do it.
Right.
I can see what the arc of the scene and how to adjust and how to like the technical beats that need to happen. But I can't always control that from myself. Like that was the thing that would make me frustrated in school was I could like do it once and be like, that was it. And then they'd be like, great, now let's do another take. And I was like, no, I just did it.
Yeah. I don't want to do it again.
I can't do it again. I gave it to you.
Very specific thing to like to do, I guess.
It's, and the actor, bless you, we need you. Like but I could over and over see like, okay, how now we can push it here, we can push it there. But it's harder for me to see for myself. I can see it much easier for someone else. So
I've never heard casting described in the way that you just did about like the intersection of everything and everything that you guys do. Like
it's a lot of weird jobs in one that I didn't know going in for sure.
I had no idea that you did an idea, I guess, but not.
It's a lot of paperwork. We do deals. We do all the deal memos.
Yeah, you were talking about first AD and scheduling.
If it rains, we talk to the ADs maybe more than anyone.
What?
It rains, we get a call from the ADs. Hey, schedule's changing. Day 11 is moving to day 4 and day 4 is moving to day 7. And you're like, okay. And so you got to repiece together the whole schedule, tell all the reps that it's changing, and then adjust the deals if the spread is changing. And then it's a lot of lists and paperwork.
Yeah,
sometimes.
because the email always does come from casting. Like, hey, the storyboard changed and she's actually shooting this day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot of logistics. It's a lot of like managing logistics and then managing creative. And then we also have to think like macro and like we also think big picture. So we're also trying to guide and consult like to help make sure like we're there as a consultant. Like it's ultimately not our decision 99.9% of the time. So we're there to help guide.
What's not your decision?
The final decision on who's cast.
Oh.
So we're there to help guide and help them, encourage them to think big picture, what would work. So we always have like our eye on the puzzle of the cast because that's all we're there to do. And so the director's there to control all sorts of things. The showrunner has to say yes to costume decisions, set decisions, hair and makeup. Like there's
story.
They're dealing with everything else. And our job only is to be responsible for overview and quality control on cast. So yeah.
Ground Up is sponsored by Mastermind Media. Whenever someone asks me, how do I get everything done between my social media, my podcast, I say, well, I don't do any of it. Mastermind Media helps me with all of it. They created my logo. All of those reels you see on TikTok and Instagram, it's them. My podcast, editing, all the graphics on YouTube, it's Mastermind Media. So in this digital age, I find that more and more people are needing a company like this who handles everything start to finish. So if you're interested in finally taking your business idea to the next level, definitely contact Mastermind Media. All of their information is in my show notes. Okay, so let's dive into this. So you obviously worked your way up from an intern.
Yeah.
You became a casting associate. Who was your first casting director that you were an associate for?
So I was an intern at CBS. I stayed as an assistant at CBS when I graduated. Kind of freelanced around. I worked at restaurants. I kind of like would be like, all right, I'll see what happens. Maybe I'll try, I don't know, whatever comes my way. And
right, because you're in New York, you're not making a bunch of money like being in.
Oh no. Oh no.
Being
you
an
had
assistant.
to have like 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So I was an assistant, and then I started kind of freelancing. I did like a pilot season at ABC, made a lot of great friends there. And then I started moving into independent casting in like 2014-ish. And I was Jessica Daniels' assistant for a little bit, who's amazing. I don't know if you've ever met her. I worked with her. I did a little bit with Julie Schubert. I did some stuff with Allison Estrin and Henry Russell Bergstein. I kind of just like, there used to be a literal floor called the Network that they would rent out, like they would do classes, like kind of like one-on-one, but also all of the casting directors had offices on the same floor. So someone would hear that I was finishing with Jess and pop their head in and be like, oh, can you come start with me on Monday and help me on this thing? And so I was always kind of like bouncing around, which was really helpful because I got to learn.
You learned so much, it sounds like.
I learned a lot because I learned how different people work and what their taste was. Or like, I'd be like, oh, that's such a Jess actor, or that's such a Henry actor. And I started to kind of understand like people's taste and how it helped shape their work and how that was important. And I learned about like the way that different people organize things. And
then
so
actors, you're seeing so many actors because
I met a lot of people, and I worked at Joe's Pub downtown. So I was a waitress at night at Joe's Pub, and I was working in casting during the day. So a lot of the time, the people doing shows at Joe's Pub at night were the people auditioning during the day.
I don't know what Joe's Pub is.
Oh my God. Joe's Pub is, have you been to the Public Theater in New York? It's this amazing thing. Okay, you've got to go. It's where Hamilton started.
Oh, I saw Hamilton.
Did you see it
on
at
Broadway?
Off-Broadway? Okay.
No,
so
on Broadway.
It's an off-Broadway house downtown.
Oh, okay.
They've got a bunch of theaters. They're amazing. They do Shakespeare in the Park. But they've got, it's like a small venue inside of the big building of the Public Theater that has like a small stage. They do cabaret. But every night they do 2 to 3 shows, and they're always different. So sometimes it's Bridget Everett, sometimes it's a flamenco group, and you just never know what you're going to get.
So you were seeing performances left and right all day.
Every day I'd see 2 to 3 shows.
Wow.
After I'd worked all day.
After you worked all day, seeing auditions.
Yeah, and so a lot of it,
Which
I
is
got to know,
different.
like that's how I first was introduced to Cole Escola. Because Cole would do shows there, and Justin Vivian Bond, like all these like amazing downtown performers I got to really know and see their work. And a lot of Broadway people would do cabarets, or they do like big benefit concerts or things. And so I remember like one day, I forget who the actor was. I want to say it was like Kelly Barrett or something. And she'd come in for an audition, and then suddenly I was like, oh my God, she's on stage right now. And I like saw her in like the little hallway in the back, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want her to see me. Like this is like,
You're like, I was just in the room today.
yeah,
for
like
her.
she would never recognize the person running camera versus the person serving her a drink. But I was like, this is a crazy overlap
It is
of
so
things.
crazy. You were like inundated with
It was a
performance
real
and
training ground.
It's nice too, because it sounds like you were very you're busy. Like I remember too being
I'm
like
always busy.
22. Yeah, same. But like it's hard when you're just trying to like figure things out, and you're doing like, I was the same. I was like, so can I mean, I worked at a restaurant, but I was like, yeah, can I assist here? Where can I learn? Acting classes, workshops, this showcase, like
Totally.
always trying to learn and be curious and figure out.
Body in motion stays in motion.
That's right. And once you lose it, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm feeling stagnant.
Yeah.
What do I do right now? Okay, so now you're a casting associate officially where?
So I worked with this woman named Jodie Collins for a while. And Jodie we worked on this pilot for ABC that was completely improvised, which was also one of my most like cherished weird training grounds, because I got to improv with actors all day. And it was very like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And I was so kind of naive to how everything worked. And this was in like 2014. And I was like, okay, well, if it's just you and me, can I be an associate? And she was like, okay. Like,
Yeah,
she didn't really
like,
know.
Can we just change my?
She didn't really care.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, okay. And so now when I look at like, I didn't really realize what it meant at the time.
Yeah.
And so I got embedded to the union so much earlier than I thought I did,
Nice.
which is really helpful.
Yeah.
Because well, now it's different, but now assistants are in the union, but it used to be assistants weren't unionized and associates were. So that was like the big difference of the roles. Now there's a lot more protection for the assistants, but at that time I was like, I just thought it was like a title bump. I didn't realize I was going to get all these benefits. So that was really lucky and really
good
cool.
on you for being like, so what do you say?
I just was like, I don't know. Like, I got nothing to lose. Can I be the associate?
Exactly.
And she was like, sure.
When do you ever have anything to lose at the end of the day, right?
And like generally if you're working with someone, it's because like they like you.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And you can always also be like, hey, here's my goal. I understand if it can't happen tomorrow, but I would like to be in the union. Like, can we create steps for me to get there?
Exactly. But it's something I've always been very cognizant of like casting is like it's a tortoise game. Like it's a very long-term career. And
like
there's
acting.
there's really only 3 positions. You're an assistant, you're an associate, you're a casting director. So I was always like, well, I don't want to like be pushy or like I want to make sure I learn
Work
enough
my way up.
that when I get to the next level, I feel prepared to be there. So I was always like, I want to be very like, you know, gracious to the people above me that I don't want them to think I'm just kind of like, you know, give me this thing that I want.
Yeah.
Like I want to make sure that they know that I'm in it for the real reasons and like want to earn it. So
You did earn it. You did.
I think so. I've
think
worked
I
hard
did.
at this point.
And now
but
you're a casting director.
yeah.
Okay, so I would love to hear about the casting process. I think this is something that actors literally do not know at all. And I know
it's a big mystery.
It's a big mystery. I know the bare bones of it, you know, but I would love to hear, like, really pull a curtain back and hear what it's like. So we can even take, like, I know you're casting the new Power Origins.
We are.
So even that as an example. So like you get awarded the job.
We get awarded the job.
Then freaking what happens?
So, well, I guess to wind it back even from there, the way we get jobs is very similar to you guys, kind of. Like, it's really, we are totally freelance. Like, if you're an independent casting, you're freelance. So we're always like, okay, hope we get a job soon, or we don't have a job. Like, it's just as kind of an unpredictable life, which I didn't quite know going in. I was like, this will be a more stable life, but it really is unpredictable, and in the same way that it is for you. So sometimes we get jobs because it's past relationships, people we've worked with, or word of mouth where someone's looking for something and they think that we'd be right for it based on our past work. But we interview for things, like we have to pitch ourselves and figure out how to like prove that we're creatively aligned, you know, in that way.
Is that in the form of a deck or?
No, we do like a meeting.
A meeting,
So
okay.
We'll send our resume and then we'll have like a Zoom or an in-person or something. And we try to be very like cognizant of like, we want to show you that we can do it without giving you the work. Like we still want you to hire us and not just be like, here's everyone that we would cast. And then for them to be like, that's a good idea.
Totally.
And then go and do it. So
Interesting.
sometimes it'll be like, we really think like a Sarah Snook type person would be perfect for this role. So it's more of like a type or someone we know can't be available.
And then they're like,
show.
oh, we like that idea. Like, what else can we get out of? Yeah. Okay.
Pitching like the kind of tone. So with Origins, obviously we will do anything that Sasha Penn will ever need for the rest of his life. We're so obsessed with him. It's like a little scary.
I love Sasha.
He's a genius, man.
I know.
Like he's just incredible and like the best leader, like the best person to work for. So we met him doing a pilot called Main Justice.
Okay.
And it was a crazy experience. And we were like, well, we got Sasha out of this. Like that's the best thing that possibly could have happened for a pilot that didn't go.
Yeah.
And then he came back to us and was like, hey, would you guys want to do Raising Kanan? And we're like, anything for you.
Yeah.
Like truly anything for you. And it was just like a real gift of a job. Like that got us through like even just logistically, like got us through so many hard times. Like that was our constant, that show. So we are
5 seasons.
5 seasons over a strike, a pandemic. Like it just was like our true saving grace having that show.
Same, by the way.
Yeah.
Like literally I did 4 of 5 seasons and I'm like, wow, this is the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is the gift that keeps on giving. And so we feel very lucky that we're getting to do something else with that team.
By the way, for the listener, Karlee cast me in Raising Kanan, which we'll get into in a second after we talk about this process. So even take Raising Kanan. So, okay, you get awarded the job from a relationship, a past relationship, or you pitched yourself.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
And then we get the script.
Okay.
I really love when we get Rori, my amazing casting partner. We've worked together for 10 and a half years. We always say we love to start something when we get to like work from the ground up. Like the earlier we can come onto a project, the better. We do a lot of like development and attachments on like indies or smaller movies. Like we love to kind of like roll up our sleeves and produce like with the team and find like how do we build this thing and set the tone and then fill it out from there? So when we got Raising Kanan, Makai and Patina were both already cast.
Got it.
Which was cool because, I mean, we would have been amazing to be part of that process, but also it set the tone and we're like, oh, this is the bar. We've got amazing actors. Patina is like truly a
Iconic.
genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like a New York legend and I've loved her on stage forever. And I was like, this is going to be incredible to get to see her do something so different. And so then we had all these other series regulars and big recurs to cast from there. And
so as if we're talking to a 10-year-old.
What is that?
So like, so it starts with, you either have an offer out already and like for like one or two people or it's already cast. And then you cast, it goes.
So there's like the series leads, like if
Series
we're talking
leads.
TV,
Yeah,
there's like the
series
series
regulars.
leads who are the series regulars. Those are like the true number one and or number two on a call sheet. They anchor the show. The main story will always be surrounding them.
Usually you always have to cast that first.
Yes.
Because you have to see who's related to them.
It's
and
like when
all
you
those
build a
things.
puzzle and you're like, if I start with this piece, then I can build the puzzle around that piece. And it sets tone. It sets so many things, like weird things, like age and what heights are we working with?
Yeah.
Like all sorts of stuff like that. So truly, like sometimes a job can be so arbitrary where you're like, this person's a better height.
Yeah.
And it looks better to have them as part of this world. There's other factors that go into that, but it's something we think about. And then you cast the other series regulars around that will be carrying story throughout the series. And then you cast the recurring characters that are supporting those major storylines and are present in and out throughout the season or many seasons. And then you cast like the guest stars that are just there for the one episode and the day players.
Okay.
Those all kind of come after you've set the main world. So yeah, Kanan was really fun. And like, I really love casting series regulars because it's so cast contingent. And this is something that your listeners should definitely know. Like if you're going in for a series regular, we're looking for who we can build long-term story around and who we can build a show around. So it's less that you come in and you did really well on this scene, and it's more, what's your take on this character? And does this character feel multidimensional? Does it feel lived in and real? And even if it's not exactly what's on the page, this is a fully realized person and character, and that's interesting. And my impulse is to want to investigate you and investigate that and keep writing for that. And I'm like, oh, I see all these potentials of where that can go or how that person can, And so we're looking for the thing that lights us up in that way for a series regular, not you came in and you nailed the scene. So we want, personality and point of view and it to feel like really lived in that way.
Versus a guest star, especially in something like a procedural, let's say,
Yes.
it's like, cool, you nailed that scene, you nailed the
That's what we
purpose
need
of
from
that
you.
scene,
Yes.
you just got the job.
Yeah. And in a
Wow,
lot
versus
of ways,
bringing in like wardrobe or the way your body is and everything, you're like, oh wow, I see that. That's the girl, or maybe is, or she just gave us an idea.
Yeah, we're looking for potential. Like we're looking for human,
this is so
and we're looking
freeing,
for
actually.
Yeah, we don't need it to be
For series regular auditions.
also
to be-
kind of for everything, but especially for series regular.
Yeah.
Like we, try to make it, especially because some teams are more intense about word perfect versus not. Side note: you can always do 2 takes, where one's a little looser, one is word perfect. But I think like it's less that we're looking for perfection, but we want human. We want it to be like a little bit messy. Like there's fixable problems that we can see where we're like, oh, get them with a dialect coach and this will be magic.
Totally.
And it's like, that's a fixable problem. But like chemistry is not a fixable problem. Like personality, point of view, like those are all things that we need you to come in and show us what is possible for a character. And then we can help you fix little things. And we're here to advocate for the actor. And so we'll go to the team and be like, look, this person has potential for you. This person will inspire you for many seasons of story, and we'll be able to keep up with that actor and go head to head with that person. Like there's so much here that's interesting. So we think that you should support going this direction.
Yeah.
And all these little tiny nitpicky things that you're seeing, those are completely irrelevant. Like we can see beyond that.
Trust
So
us.
trust
Yeah,
us. And
yeah.
so I hopefully for actors, like I hope that we can see beyond the little thing of like, my hair didn't look very good in that take, or if I had worn a different outfit or something. Like if I had studied the dialect just a little longer, like come as close to it as you can get. And then we can help push it to where it needs to go fully.
Yeah. Wow. So many gold nuggets in that. I love it. Okay, so you cast all the series regulars. So my question was gonna be so you're casting a series regular that's gonna go out to what? Obviously the whole nation.
Yeah.
Is it going across? Okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Are you you're a New York-based casting director.
Yes.
A show like Raising Kanan is a New York-based show.
Yes.
Are you going to try your hardest to cast series regular? I know you're going to try your hardest to cast guest stars and recurring
series
in
regulars
New York.
can come from anywhere.
Can come from anywhere. Yeah. You're not even like, you're like, whatever, we're putting it out.
Yep.
What is it like? Are you guys writing out the breakdown on the back and then you press enter and it goes out into the agent and manager abyss?
I mean, like kinda,
right?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. So
I mean, one of my favorite things is the writing of the breakdown process. I write all of the breakdowns for our office and then I send them to Rori and she like edits it. Rori's like an English major and like a very good writer. So she'll take my
what a great
like
duo.
It's literally the dream. It's the dream. I couldn't be in a better position, truly. Like it's the best partnership. But
look up what Jessica's was.
What Jessica's was?
My character.
your breakdown.
Like,
that's so funny. I was like, Jessica Daniels? No, I know exactly now. In my head, your character was Jess because they just called you Jess so much.
That's true.
But so yeah, I'll write breakdowns and then Rori will polish them and make them so much better than I could write them. And then, but I like it because it helps me synthesize what we're looking for a character. Because I get to to write a good breakdown, you have to go through as many episodes as you can find that has the character in it and what essences do we need to see later? What colors, what qualities, is anyone who talks about them? Like, what do they say about them?
Right.
What physical stuff is important or not important? And what do I want to include or not?
More than one script?
For TV, we'll often get like a pilot and a couple outlines, or maybe it depends if it's straight to series. It depends on the team, but we'll take as much information as we can get. Like we always tell all of the departments, like if you have any prelim information, we will not share it or swear by it. It just helps us process what priority is or how to work.
Do you have to get the breakdown approved by the creators?
Yes.
So like Sasha?
Yes.
Okay.
So then I'll write breakdown, Rori cleans it up. We'll send it to Sasha. Sasha will look at it, be like, oh, you know what? I actually think we don't need to say that for spoiler reasons, or I actually think we need to add this color about his personality because that's going to be important. And we'll get a little feedback and then we'll send it to the studio to approve. They circulate it. And so anything that goes out is always approved by everybody.
Wow.
Like we don't go rogue on anything. It's always, if we hire someone, they've always been approved by the creative studio network, like all of that. So anything that goes into the world is the same process.
Okay, so you cast series regulars throughout everywhere, and then you get to your recurrings. Are you going to try to cast locally?
It depends on the show and the budget, but mostly yes.
Okay, so mostly yes.
And you want to know why? Because there's a helpful reason is because we want flexibility with scheduling. Because like we said, like it rains and the whole thing blows up. Like if we're traveling someone in and out of LA, we want to make it easy for the actor and also for our production to be able to be like, okay, we know that this person is around and we can play around with them. But if we have too many people that are not present in New York, it's a lot of, okay, well, how are we going to get them here? And then they're going to have to wait around and then it's on our dime. It's like, it's so both logistically and expensive. It's complicated. So it just helps everyone to be based where you're going to end up popping up a lot.
Because I just made a TikTok about this too, because also your per SAG rules, no matter what, even if it's a co-star, not that it's probably so rare to fly a co-star in, but
very rare.
Very rare. But it doesn't matter what role it is, you are flying that person in.
Yeah.
Business class.
I think domestically it has to be business.
Yeah. Business class. If business class isn't available, it's first class, which I didn't know there was a difference between those two until someone on TikTok told me.
I should know these rules better about travel. We really don't do a ton of travel packages.
Right. It is just because I've recurred on so many things.
You know
Chicago,
probably better than
Atlanta,
me.
Vancouver, New York. But yeah, so it's that, and it's 4.5-star hotel or better. So
we call it first class hotel.
Yeah,
on
first
the
class
offers.
hotel. Yeah, exactly. It's very expensive to fly someone in. So you put out, let's say Jessica's, what I played on Raising Kanan, you put out that locally, probably.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Like you're watching all these tapes, you're like, okay, you're probably picking some, sending them to Sasha. It's just not working. And then you put out a wider net.
You know, for that, I think we
it was like
originally,
5 years ago. I know, so long ago.
No, I know. More than that. It was weirdly, I think it was like 2019 because it was before the pandemic, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think for that we did put it out in New York and LA.
Okay.
Or if we put it in, because we didn't hire you as a local hire. So I think we put it out in both places because I think
Off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we were just looking for who's the best person for the job.
Because it was kind of specific.
Yeah, it's
that way.
specific and you know, I think the population of Latina actresses in LA is bigger than New York. I think we were like looking for just who would be best for that.
So much goes into it.
Yeah.
That we don't understand or
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So then so now you cast everyone and and then it's like an episode by episode basis. Oh, we need, this person's going to have a big relationship with Patina, but it's only for 3 episodes. And then it's just, you're putting out the breakdowns. And then after you get the main cast, the heavy lifting is kind of done.
In a lot of ways, yes. And then in some ways, no, because when we cast a series regular, what's really nice about it is then they become not our problem. Like production deals with series regulars. We deal with all of the recurs and guest stars and day players. So it kind of ends up becoming a little bit more hands-on for us once we're kind of in the rest of the roles, because that's who we book every episode. That's who we're giving guarantees to. That's who we're updating pins for and making sure everyone knows dates. Like we need to make sure we're not losing anyone if we're writing story for them. So that's where a lot of our work really lies in the day-to-day and long-term. Once we set series regulars, we're kind of like, bye.
Yeah, bye guys.
Have a good time. It's like dropping them off at school.
Yeah. Literally, they either have to move to that place or they're good for those. Yeah,
we're like,
months.
We'll see you at table reads or see you around.
We'll let you know when
good.
you get picked up for another season. Or I don't know who lets them know, but
not us.
Not
us.
Guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So recurs. Yeah.
Yeah, we put it out on Breakdown Express. We get a lot of, it depends on the role, but you go through all the submissions, you pick the people that you want. Rory and I kind of go through it together and decide who we want to see. And then, you get the tapes in and go from there. Sometimes you're like, great, we've got so many amazing options. And sometimes you're like, I think we need to keep seeing, and you do more rounds, or you figure out what needs to change. Or sometimes you're like, oh, wow, everyone's really interpreting this scene in a way that we didn't expect. And let's just give like these 5 people notes and have them redo it. Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll see a note for a callback and sometimes there won't be a note.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder what the difference is between.
Yeah, it's sometimes like we don't really know what it is until we start seeing it. Like we have ideas of something, and then once you see it, you're like, oh, it's like that, or oh, they're falling into these traps, and we should like fix the scene because everyone's falling into the same trap in this middle section. And so sometimes we're like, oh, that's on us, and we kind of like tweak it from there.
So if you're watching 50 tapes, would you say 45 of them look the same?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, almost at this level, especially for series regulars and guest stars, like everyone's good. Like everyone's good.
It's so true.
It's not like, oh wow, it's so many bad people and then one person is great and they get the job. It's like at this level, everyone's like doing pretty good work.
Yeah.
And so it's less about who's good and it's who's great and who excels and who makes it come alive, or like who makes it sing, like who makes it spark, and who do I get excited about watching. And so sometimes that's something that you can't control as an actor, and it's just your job or it's not your job. Like it's this either you really spark to it for whatever reason, exactly like how to make it sing, and it just sings and it sounds different than someone else. But it's like, I rage out about this all the time, but it's like the idea, I like in college, we were constantly told like, make choices, like make big choices, bold choices to stand out, because everyone's good, but you want to be great. So you have to make bold choices to be different and stand out. But it's like, that's not actionable direction. That's result-oriented direction. And like the first thing I learned in casting is you can't give result-oriented direction. You have to give actionable direction.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Like when I was at CBS, they, one of the casting directors was like, I call it like the good neighbor metaphor. And I was like, okay. And she was like, if I told you, the actor, do this take as a good neighbor, you'd be like, okay. And you would have ideas of like what that could be, but it's contrived. You're playing at a result. I'm giving you result-oriented direction. Yeah. But if me as the casting director says to you as the actor, okay, now do this take, and when you come outside, wave to your neighbor and smile and grab your paper, and we can find together some specific actions or ways you interact that then you zoom back and the result is, what a good neighbor. That's giving actionable direction, not result-oriented direction.
Got
and so I think when people say like, make a choice, make a bold choice, make a big choice, that's result-oriented direction, because we want to see this result that's like, oh, I want to see something that's so different. So I'm just telling you, do something different to make it interesting for me. But like, I can't tell you that. That's not fair to you. And it puts so much pressure on you. And like, I was always so confused about it in college. And then I spent a lot of time in the room and I started seeing like, oh, that's what they meant by choices, of the difference of someone coming in and just doing what's on the page, and then someone coming in and finding beats and moments of specificity between the lines that aren't written, that come out organically when you've done research and preparation.
Yes, that makes sense for the character and the given circumstance and the genre.
Exactly. So it's like, you start with research of like, what's the show?
Yeah.
Who's directing it? Who's producing it? Who's casting it? Who else is in it? And then if there's...
Is it a spinoff? Are there other seasons?
Exactly. Is there an episode of something I can watch? Is there another movie of this director that I can watch if it's a film? Like get an idea of the tone and like you start to build the sandbox based on understanding the players in the sandbox. And then you look at the scene, and then I think it's about finding your way in and your own point of view. Like, how does it imprint for you? I always say, like, when I teach actors, I'm like, just read every single word on the page. Don't think about what you're saying yet. Like, because I remember too in college, I would look and be like, okay, I have this line, and I would get an idea of what I was doing before I'd ever have an idea of anything else. And it's like, you want to look at it and read it like when you read a book, where you like go to that imaginary place and it imprints on your imagination.
Because you understand the material, actually the story, versus like...
You want where you are to imprint for you in your brain in a way that you can't articulate, but you're there because of, when you read, you're kind of there. And it's like, what page number are you on? Because that's information. Like, are we on page 2? Great, we're opening the movie, or this is the beginning of the episode. Like, those are all context clues based on like what's required of you in this scene, and read it out loud specifically. Interior, coffee shop day. Like immediately your brain goes somewhere. Like fill in all of that and give yourself like a really clear sense of where you are, and then build that environment for yourself. Like, what does that mean if I'm in a coffee shop during the day? What kind of coffee shop? Where am I?
For your interpretation.
For your interpretation, exactly. And then you build from the ground up the ground
up. You said it twice now.
Oh my God.
I love it.
I didn't even mean to. But you build this set of specific circumstances for you that only make sense for you, and you're not concerned about what I'm looking for you to do.
Right.
You're just concerning yourself with, if I was this person and I was in a coffee shop, it'd be like this, and I'd be here, and I'd be sitting like this. And, you play around and you build a literal sandbox of how you can physically be. How does it inhabit your whole body? How do you deal with the things around you? And then you start to realize, okay, now who am I in the scene with? And how do I feel about this person? Who am I talking to? Like, it's the acting 101 question.
Right. What's our relationship?
What's the relationship? Because it's like we're only seeing the movie of us on you. Yeah. And so all we get to see is, how do you feel about this person? How do they make you feel? Do they make you feel comfortable in your body or uncomfortable? Yeah. Like, all these pieces of information start to like congeal into like a clear picture. And then you're able to then turn your brain off and be present. And then that's where the choices, as I eat the mic, the choices come through. That then all these accidental things, that the noises, the sounds, the movements, the eye roll, whatever, those things
Grabbing
come
the
out.
Hairs, itching, whatever,
That stuff starts flying out of you organically.
Right.
But not because you controlled it and it was contrived.
To
because
think it all comes back to presence.
And it comes back to like preparation and just knowing, like, okay, I've done I had a dance teacher that said like technique is the basis for expression. So you have the groundwork, and then you can be like, okay, and I'm just gonna let it sing. And then all those little things come out, and it will feel different and look different than someone else doing it because it's your lived in version of something. Yeah. So it's like, do we always have time to sit down and do like all of the prep that might require? Like, no. Yeah. But it's like, the more you can do it, even for like one line stuff, it makes a huge difference.
Wow.
Like I see tapes all the time where I'm like, if only you just thought about where you were. Right. Or only if you just took 2 seconds to know who you were talking to, it would be totally different. And that's my spiel on that.
So this really goes back to the question, which was, does 45 look the same? Do 45 tapes look the same? And it's like, honestly, kind of, yeah, because most people aren't going. I always say it's lonely in the extra mile because most people don't go in it.
That's exactly right, though. That's exactly right.
Like, and I have absolutely done auditions where I have half-assed it 100%.
Yeah, we can always tell. Because also this medium is through your eyes.
Yeah.
So stage is like, you take your whole body and you tell the story. And then film and TV is you take all of that energy and you channel it in. You still have to be in your body and using your body, but you channel it through your eyes. Like your eyes are the main storytelling
with the camera
medium. And so you can tell in someone's eyes if they don't know what they're saying. Right. If there's a word that you don't know what it means. If there's legal jargon that you don't know what that process is. Like, we can see it in your eyes. So the more you know what you're talking about, the more I trust that I can just like turn my brain off and be with you and go on your journey of the experience.
Because also part of it is you guys need to trust someone that you're going to send to a freaking network show to go work on it for either one day or, God forbid, the entire season. Yeah. Are you confident enough, cool enough to be able to go in there and like, not make you guys worry.
And we don't have a lot of time. So we need to make sure that who we're casting has like a firm handle on the material. And, like legally per SAG, we're not allowed to tell people to be memorized, which I totally, because, life happens. But the more that you can be prepared and the more off book you can be, the easier it is. It's like in sports when you're like with the bent knee plie, like ready to go any direction. It's like you can receive and listen and respond and be present. Like most of what I look for is like active listening. Like what do you do when you're not talking in a scene? Like do you drop out or is there something still going on for you? Like are you still connected to your scene partner? Like is what they're saying, how is that resonating for you? Like there's just,
Would you say confidence is like a huge part of being an actor? Like not in the way
yes
that's
and
like
no. I think it's less confident because again, confidence is kind of result oriented where it's like you can't just tell someone just be confident and everything will be fine. I think confidence comes from having a handle on what you're doing.
That's
I think,
kind of what I mean.
Yeah,
like
I think
really
the more,
being like, no, whether I get this or not,
I think it's prepared. I think a great actor is a prepared actor.
Yes.
And then all those other colors come out. The confidence, the ability to handle the material.
To take a note.
To respond, to change, to adapt, to just listen. Like
would you
can
say,
do that if you're prepared.
When you do callbacks these days because everything's Zoom, right? For the most part?
Yeah. We've done a few things in person, but we do a ton of stuff on Zoom, like a ton.
So for I feel like I've honestly could count on two hands how many like callbacks I've actually had over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But so I don't have that much experience. I mean, from when I have them, it's director callbacks usually where they're in there and it's like a little work session.
Yeah.
I haven't often had them with just the casting director. Do you guys do that? Is that?
We don't really need to usually.
Yeah. So it's like our first tape is like going up the ranks unless it's a series regular, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, also often like we'll use original tapes and include it in a test because it helps give context. So I always
look what they did here as well.
Yeah. And it's support material. So if it's not perfect, we probably won't use it. Or, if it's not up to the quality we're trying to pitch you to get the job on, we won't use it, but we'll often use it. So your first tape has a lot of longevity. It can go a lot of places. And I think there is like a common sense rule, I think, to self-tapes. Like before you send it in, just do a quick scan for yourself, like on a tech level, on a performance level. Do you feel good about this going all the way up? Like up to the network, up to the head of the network, up to Spielberg, up to whoever's directing, like they're the people that are going to have eyes on your tape. And so if you suddenly are like, oh, I don't feel good about that. Like listen to the voice. Is it vanity or is it technical? And try to separate those things. Cause if you're like, ooh, I don't like the way I look in this,
hair's
it's like
sticking out. Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Move on. Like you'll have a hair and makeup department.
Yeah.
But if it's technical, that's something that you can adjust before it goes all the way up because you want to put your best foot forward and quite literally be in the best light. And we want to be able to see your eyes and connect with you.
Are you getting tapes that like aren't?
Oh yeah. You would be so, people send in tapes vertically all the time instead of, Rori said a hot dog instead of hamburger.
Cause I always see the directions. And I'm like, why are they writing these directions in all caps?
No,
I'm
because
like,
you need people to listen.
It must be because actors are not doing these very 101 things.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll get a tape sent in and we're like, I know you can see that this is too dark.
Right.
So maybe just do it again with more light. If you put it on your computer and you're like, oh, it looks kind of dark. Or if we get a lot of sound issues sometimes and we'll be like, can you send us the original file or have them retape because like the sound is not the right volume or muffled or something. So just do like little checks for yourself to make sure before you send something in.
And you would only give that note because you kind of like their tape or else you're just, right? It's like, oh shit, I see potential in this one, but it looks like so dark. So I am going to ask them kindly to retape it. Otherwise, if it's dark or no lighting, you guys or bad sound, you guys are just scrapping that.
Yeah. Or often we'll send the tape that's a little bit too dark, but we're like, God, I wish it was a little bit, like I see the potential in this tape that's not technically perfect. I hope everyone else can. And, often they do. Like our teams are so primed now to deal with Zoom and self tapes. Like they can not, most good teams can see past like that. But if it's like a real issue that we're like, it's distracting us and preventing us to focus on the tape, we'll ask you to adjust it. So the more that you can just get ahead of it and not have to be in that situation, the better.
On this topic, how important is a reader in our auditions?
Oh my God, always have a reader. People send in tapes all the time without a reader and we're like, guys, what does
that even mean?
That they just read their lines without a reader. Yeah, it really does happen. it just makes a difference. Like you need to hear the rhythm of a scene, and I need to watch you respond. Like again, like I'm interested obviously in how you say the lines, but I'm a little bit more interested because that's where the difference is what do you do when you're not speaking, and what are the things that happen between the lines? So if I don't have other lines to work to gauge that on, it's really difficult, and we can't send the tape. So we'll often ask people to just jump on Zoom with us and we'll read with them if they can't have a reader. Or sometimes we're always open to doing Zoom auditions if we send a self-tape out. And a lot of times we'll get, the agents will reach out and say, oh, my client would love to self-tape, but they don't have a reader. Would it be possible to do a Zoom audition? And we're like, of course.
Okay.
Because we just would prefer to just be able to give you some adjustments, make sure you have a reader, make sure that is not an issue for any of the tapes. But it really, you got to have a reader.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but does it matter if the reader is good or bad, I guess?
I think it matters.
I didn't even think people would not have a reader. So my main question was like, is the reader,
great.
Does the reader matter? I'm like, oh my God.
I would say don't let your reader take up chew the scenery.
Totally.
Don't let your reader
I like a monotone reader for me.
I like a reader that gives you just enough.
Yeah.
Like
just
it shouldn't pull me out of it. Sometimes Rory and I watch tapes all the time. We're like, but who's the reader? Like this reader's great. Or like this reader needs to calm down because they're messing up the scene for the actor. Or they're dictating rhythm, or they're doing stuff that's like impacting. So you mostly as a reader just want to be there to support whoever's acting.
Yeah.
Whatever is going to make them look and sound their best. And, if you're working with someone and you're like, hey, would you mind like taking a beat here and waiting so I can have this moment? Always communicate that. It makes such a difference. Like there's just in the history of the world of real human communication, has anyone ever been like line. Like you're always like, it's like a script is like a sheet music. It's still like you're looking for crescendos, and it's like it's musicality. Like acting is musicality, and so how do you find the musicality? And sometimes that requires like giving your scene partner like hey, can you just like take a beat here, or like I really think we should talk over each other here to like really drive it, like,
or hey, this is a really fast-paced show, can you just say your line and I'll pick it up,
keep the pace. Yeah, exactly. So I think those are helpful conversations to have before you tape, but as long as the reader isn't like colossally slowing you down or ruining it for you or dominating you or making it about them, then it's fine. We genuinely don't. We just want to focus on you.
I think this is great information that listeners are going to love. So thank you. Because for some people it's like 101, right? Like for me, I'm just like,
it feels intuitive sometimes until it's not.
Until it's not. Totally. Is your office doing Zoom auditions?
Oh yeah. All the time.
Like for first call?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question for you is, for a friend.
Yeah. For not you.
Yeah, for not me. Is like sometimes my agent's assistant will be like, hey, casting can see you for a Zoom for this. And like my instinct, of course, is like, oh yes, I'd rather take the Zoom slot because there's not that many slots.
Right. And we try to, because so much happens in our day. Yeah. So we try to not be completely unavailable for like the whole day, the way that we used to not be available for the whole day. Like before the pandemic, my job truly was like, I always joke I was locked in a closet for like 12 hours a day. Yeah. And then I would come out and be like, what happened out here?
Yeah. And it's dark again.
Yeah. And Rory would tell me all the things I missed on the phone or in our email. And then I would catch up and she would watch all the tapes and we would like, merge the days, but now we can have all the days streamlined. And so we try to keep it consolidated. I mean, every office is different, but for us, we try to be like, okay, from 12 to 2, we're going to be in session. And then, but try to consolidate it to that because we've got meetings and we're always in Zoom meetings and there's this, and there's just so many other things that come up in a day. So
is it 50% tapes, 50% that Zoom session?
I wouldn't say 50-50. It just kind of depends. And also like a lot of actors prefer to tape.
Yeah, well, okay, that was my question. So I always want to tell my agent, like, yes, I'll take the Zoom because I feel like you're kind of chosen in a way. They're only seeing a handful on Zoom.
It's never a test, just like as an FYI.
So I've passed a couple times.
Yeah.
Because I love it. And I'm like, oh, I really like this. I'm like, I am going to do so much better on a tape. Yeah. So can I tape? And they're like, yeah, of course.
100%. Okay. It will never be a plus or a minus on either decision if you want to tape with us or on your own.
That's so good to know.
Because everyone has their own process. Like, and it's as much as I really miss being in the room. There's I think there's a really important element of learning how to control nerves and deliver a take on take on take and then be gone, like the way that you'd be asked to on a set. Like that's a helpful. The room is designed to be like a rehearsal for the day in a lot of ways that I think actors starting now don't really have that in a way that I'm like, oh, that's a little problematic or scary for them to not have that kind of in the room training.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's nice because people have their own process, or they know, like, have gotten really good at becoming their own director, or know what they need to make certain things happen, or also like days and lives are busy. And so if you're like,
now you're getting
I can really only tape at 9 p.m. tonight.
Right.
Great.
Right.
But I prefer
Send
to have
it
the
in.
control and do it then. Like, So
because the argument would be, well, I really want to take the Zoom because I'll get directed. And like, I'm sorry, but 90% of the time when I go into a first call, the casting director is not directing me. They're like, okay, great. Yeah. Like sending it off. You know what I mean? It's not a work session. Yeah. Because people are like,
right. It's not a coaching. That's the difference.
It's not a what?
It's not like a coaching. Like, we're not there to come in and like,
oh yeah, coaching. Yeah.
Sometimes people will come in and be like, I don't know, like, let's build this from the ground up. I'm not really that memorized. Like, can we just run it a few times? And we're like, oh, like we have like a schedule.
No,
like,
yeah. You're in a 5-minute.
We're not here to like discover this with you. Like, we're here to take what you've done and adjust it from there. But yeah, I think it just depends on what you're looking for. But I think there's a lot of, sometimes we'll get a tape and be like, if only we were in the room, I could have just been like, beep, 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 beep. And then that would all be different. And so sometimes it is helpful to just be like, let me just give you these couple adjustments. Yeah. But also it's just, depends.
It depends.
On how you
guys
feel.
Might really like someone too and be like Rory might be like, oh, I actually really like that. Hey, can you do it like this? So that could happen, but it's like, totally. You never know.
Or if you get a Zoom audition or an audition for something and you're like, oh, I really don't really have a clear understanding of a way in. Like, I'll figure it out, but like, it might be helpful to kind of get a little bit of like feedback on it, like take the Zoom. But if you're like, oh, I get what this is, like, I have an approach, I have a thought, I know how to do it, like, then maybe you don't need it if that's not your favorite way of taping. So
I was at a casting director panel recently and they were like, you can ask questions if you have a question.
Oh yeah.
Because I think in a self-tape world, we don't realize that we can ask our reps like,
oh, always.
Hey, I have a question about this scene. I'm not sure on XYZ. Is she related to him? I couldn't figure that out, which is such an important thing.
Always we can do that. We get it in email, we'll get a phone call. Sometimes we'll send like a little blurb and be like, just text this to the actor for us. Like, here's a little response. So I've talked to actors on the phone if they have questions.
That's amazing.
We're really here to help you. Yeah. Like, genuinely. Yeah. It's not a trap.
It's not a trap.
Because if you do well, we look really good.
You look really
and our
good.
job is done.
Yeah.
We look like geniuses.
Yeah.
Like, we are only as good as the actors we know and the performances that we get. So if the more to choose from, the better, that we look like geniuses. Yeah. So
there is a process that I really want to talk about really quick, and we're almost out of time here. But I know. But I really want to know, like, okay, so we're in a world now where it's like, I feel like not as many people are auditioning for each role. Would you say?
Opposite. I think big time opposite. Because it used to be we would only have a certain number of slots in a day. So
you can only physically see
we could
so
only
many.
physically see 15 people.
But don't you have to approve the audition? Aren't you getting pitched to by agents and managers?
Oh yeah, of course. Like, we select 2 auditions. Yeah. But we can now over request tapes, or not over request, but we can request as many as we want. And it's not about
she looks good.
Exactly. Yeah. Or like, I don't know that person. Let's meet them Rory and I call it meeting them on this, where we'll be like, oh, they look interesting. Let's meet them on this. Like, let's have them.
What makes
tape.
them look interesting?
Oh, for any reason whatsoever.
Like, headshot?
We're going off headshots, resumes, or if like a manager or an agent we really like pitches someone and we're like, oh, we like their taste. We don't know this person. Like, let's have them tape and see what they can do. And then we can, get to know them in that way. So we do that sometimes. But we can, and sometimes we'll be like, well, this is a tricky role, and I don't know about these skateboarding teens that I know nothing about. Like, let's have 30 audition instead of 15 and see, like, it's no skin off our back to sit for a little longer and watch a few more tapes. Like, it's just a way more efficient way of reviewing and screening than being in the room was. So I think actually, which is funny because I think the issue before the pandemic, a lot of actors would be mad at casting. We tend to be the scapegoat sometimes. I think actors would be mad at casting because we were the gatekeepers and they couldn't get in. And now a lot of actors have a problem because there's too many people taping.
Oh, wow.
That opportunity is too big. And so they're getting lost because more people have access. So it's like, we kind of can't win either way.
Right.
But I do
love
think
you guys.
Thanks. I think it's a really good thing, actually, that we can take chances on people that we wouldn't before because it doesn't impede our whole day. It's just like, why not? Let's try them. So it's helpful.
For an actor who is just starting out, the advice I always give is like, look, in order to get an audition, you need an agent or manager.
Yeah.
That is the thing that I think people do not understand.
There is a threshold. Like your life is significantly different for the opportunities that you have with or without reps. It's just like the fact of it. Yeah.
Because they are the liaison between us and you.
Yes.
Like we cannot get you cannot get a network audition or a streaming audition for a huge show, which is any show. There's no non-union TV shows.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. And if we're putting it out on Actors Access, it's like because we're doing a search or we're looking for something specific, like, are you a Russian speaking gymnast? Or, we're like,
literally,
we're looking for language skills or special skills or
Actors Access meaning out to the public.
Yeah. Or if we're like sharing it on Backstage, like if we do it wide, it's because we're doing like a national open call search for the thing and we're doing a needle in a haystack search. But if we're just looking for day players, co-stars, guest stars, like all that
regulars.
stuff, especially series regulars. Like
it just goes out on that secret platform to
yeah,
agents
because
and managers.
and part of it is like we just don't have the time. Like if we wouldn't be able to filter. Like as it is, we can get up to I went through like I think it was like 10,000 submissions in a day. You're looking through so many submissions in a day. And that's just from agents and managers. So imagine if that was open to the general public, we couldn't physically get through it. Like it's impossible.
Yeah, it's like it's a perfect filter.
It's a screening process because if you're repped, it means like there's for whatever reason, this person will take a leap of faith on you and vouch for you to us that you are a professional to be hired.
So the agent and manager needs to take a leap of faith on the actor. And then if the actor is brand new, the casting director needs to take a leap of faith also on the actor, but on the agent or manager going, okay, I thanks for the pitch. Yeah. I'll see their tape, no problem, send it through.
Yeah. Or like we see them just submitted on Breakdown Express and we're like, okay, your face looks interesting and right for this thing. And I don't know you, but you have an agent. So
important.
Yeah.
I don't know you, but you have an agent. Yes.
So it does make a difference. Like I always like when I teach, especially like when you're coming out of undergrad, I think there's like this misconception that like everyone has to be with like CAA or Gersh or like you want to be like with some big fancy agency because it shows like you've made it or you're going somewhere. And I'm like, don't be precious. And if anything, like just go for who wants to sign you and cares about you and gets you because you want to start collecting. And then that's where preparation comes back in and being specific. It's specificity. The more specific you can be about the work that you're doing and knowing who you are and having that shine through, even in a co-star, you'll start excelling and you'll book. Like if you're really specific in those auditions, collect them all. And then you can start going in for bigger things and you have more experience on set and more experience taping. And yeah, maybe you're ready for an agent that you feel like can help position you better for maybe going in for guest stars instead of co-stars. Like it's a gradual process, but to just like get a foothold and grab whoever believes in you or wants to work with you or sees something or knows what to do with you. Yeah. Knows what to do with developmental actors. Cause like a lot of people don't. And you have this idea like, I've got to be with a big agency, but they're not going to develop you. They're not going to take time to
I got signed and now we haven't talked in 2 years.
Yeah. Or take the time to look at those day player auditions and to submit you.
Right.
Like, that's a threshold
difference. Which is a whole other conversation about like getting with an agent. Go look at their IMDb and see like, hey, are they even getting people co-star auditions and guest star auditions for you to kind of break in that way? Or are they more just doing series regulars, which sometimes they'll take, young talent against the wall and see if, they book something.
For sure.
But the realities of actually booking something is like very low.
Yeah. And I guess ultimately it's a personal decision. Like you don't need to be with a certain agency to get a certain job. No. You just need the door to be open that you can be submitted.
And you need them to fight for you. Yeah. Because if they're not passionate about you, I just did a whole thing about this, is you will not book. Yeah. If you don't have an agent or manager that's like, sure, submit the photo, bare minimum. And then also if something's really right for you, which is why it's so important to be specific about your type that you'll grow and stuff, but know the type that you are at this very moment.
Yeah. How do you maximize your point of view and how do you make sure that your reps get that?
Understand it. Yeah. And if they don't, and you get signed and you don't get an audition for 7 months, I know it's slow, but that's ridiculous. Like you need to let 7 months with like, I tell I'm like, if you haven't spoken to them.
Sure. Right. It's like, I know nothing about that side. So I can't really weigh in on how long you should talk to someone or not talk to someone or how aggressive they should be or not. Yeah. But I just do think like the difference is like be signed or not signed. There is a massive difference.
Well, there's just no other way to even get in unless you guys meet at a steakhouse and get in great conversation, and they're like, hey, I really want to be an actor, and for some reason you take a liking and you're like, you know what, I have this role that might be, but it's
and we have actors that we've known for years that don't have reps, that we constantly are casting in things. Like there's this amazing actress named Silda Shower in New York who I don't think has ever had reps, but all the casting folks know her and we all cast her all the time. Like we love her. There's like people like that.
Yeah.
Or people that I meet in classes or that I met at that were my NYU students that I've now gotten to cast or work with. And I've tried to get some of them reps, and very much to my dismay, the reps have not signed them, but I will still call them in all the time.
Good for you.
So,
you really are a friend of the actor.
I'm really trying.
I know.
It's really satisfying. I mean, like the greatest gift of our job is when we get to give someone a job.
Yeah.
Like, and we get to give good news. Like we on Friday, we got to make 3 phone calls saying that 3 different people booked series regular jobs. Actually 4. We made 4 phone calls. I will not say, but we made a lot of really nice phone calls about different projects, a couple different projects.
God bless those people.
And it was just like, I was
happy.
like, who needs drugs? I'm like high on life. Like I was like crying all day. It was like amazing. God. And like truly my dad was like, wow, you like care a lot. Like you care so much. But I'm like, I thank God. Like you can't do this job if you don't care. Like I was like, it's my whole life. Like this job is like kind of my whole personality in my life. And I love actors, and I love like making relationships. Like I'm such a like friend yenta. Like I love to like be like, you have a problem and you have a problem, meet, and this will solve everyone's problems. Like I'm constantly making like friends meet, and it's just like really magical when you get to like watch real chemistry blossom and be like, wow, this is like going to be a formative relationship in your life. And I can't believe I got to be part of making
impact.
that. Being impactful in that is like a huge gift.
Well, genuinely, you are a rare gem in this industry, and we need more of you. So keep, please, shining your light, because the more you shine on other people, they'll start acting like that, and it'll hopefully, this industry's really hard.
It's really tough.
It's really hard for anyone. I hear casting directors right now are out of work.
For 6 months of this year, I was like, do I need a new career? Like, it's really slow.
It's so hard.
It's really crazy what we've signed up for.
So thank you for everything that you do. And honestly, like, thank you for casting me. I never get to, like, do people talk to you?
Well,
I don't talk to people who cast me, Karlee.
It's really nice.
Should I be like?
I mean, you can always shoot someone a note. Like you can write an email or something, or meet them at the wrap party, or whatever.
Right.
We just worked on this movie for Happy Madison that we got to cast all of these, like, it was like a high school musical. We got to cast a lot of like young people, and we were like so excited because it's been so slow, and we were like, oh my God, we get to work again, and we were like emotional about working again, and we are like, let's just do a little bit of outreach. Like we've got the time, like we love this. Like, let's meet some new people. And so we reached out to like a bunch of university programs and people that were either just graduating or still in school, because it was the summer. So we're like, hey, what perfect summer job if you're like a junior or a senior at a program somewhere. And so we met all these like amazing, I keep saying kids, like they're not kids, they're like in their 20s, but amazing young people that we then got to cast. And a lot of them, it was their first audition.
Right.
Or like, let alone their first job. And they got to like build this ensemble, like the same thing about being like in a theater group or like doing like a show in high school, but it was for a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
And they were in heaven and like, life changing for a lot of them and then we helped a lot of them get reps, and it was just
amazing.
Like, and they built
That's
this
like true work,
real community together. And we were like just in heaven that we got to do it and that we got to work with them. And we went to the wrap party, and a lot of them wrote us handwritten thank you notes.
Oh my God.
And we cried like so many times, because they were like, you changed our life. Like, you have no idea. We had the best time. And it was like, it meant so much to us to be able to give someone that experience and to get to have that like in-person exchange of being like, I have your back. Like if you ever need anything, you can always call me. Like if you have questions. And it was just like really, really fulfilling and special. So it does mean a lot to us. And we get to be like, people say thank you, and we're like, no, thank you, because you made us look good, or you solved this problem. And like, it's like, it's so symbiotic.
Breaking down that barrier too.
Yeah,
between
we're
casting
just
director and actor.
Like, I don't know. It's like,
you're like, I don't know what else to say, guys. I
don't even think about the idea that I could be anything but just like a friend or a person to someone else. Like that my job could be before that is like a crazy thought to me.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
For all that you do in general, and for being here, sharing your wisdom.
My pleasure.
I did really quickly want to ask you about If you wanted to shout out Covenant House.
Oh my God, yes.
I would love to hear a little bit about it. And then
how lovely.
I'll put a link in the show notes.
Amazing. Well, I don't know if you know much about Covenant House.
Just from what I like researched from.
They're an amazing organization. I work with them a lot in New York. They've got, oh God, I wish I knew the numbers. Rachel's really good at knowing all the numbers. They've got facilities all through the US and South America. I forget how many exactly, but they have Covenant House in LA for sure. I've never been to the one in LA, but it's supposed to be amazing. But I work with the one in New York a lot, and it's not a homeless shelter. They have housing, but it's so much more than that. They do programming. They help with finishing education. They help you get your degrees. They help you if you need paperwork for, if you were here without paperwork, they'll help you with immigration stuff. They do job counseling. They are a full hands-on resource facility that
for young homelessness,
for young people experiencing homelessness. I think the age now is 16 to 21. Another thing that I should know, but it's that
is very young.
It's not like kid, but it's like late teens and early 20s. But they help with transitional housing. They have the crisis center, and then they'll help put you into long-term housing that they help support you. They help you figure out how to save. They help you figure out how to actually live on your own.
Really give you resources.
Phase you out into the world, a prepared person, adult person. Yeah. So the work they do is truly endless. They cater to the community that they have. So there was I think it was last summer when we do this event every year where we raise money for them. They were saying that they were getting a lot of a very specific migrant population. And a lot of them didn't speak English. And so they started hiring specific translators. They adapted the food they were serving to be more in line with them culturally, that they would recognize or feel more comfortable. And so they're constantly adjusting the food, the programming, the staff, to fit whatever the changing community is.
That's very intentional.
Very intentional. And they have I think their mental health resources are incredible. They, a lot of young people experiencing homelessness, it's a very traumatic situation. You're coming from a traumatic home, or you've the experience of being
and it's so expensive
unhoused
to get out.
So traumatic. And so they're dealing with these acute things and these greater mental health issues that help also then set someone up for success in the future.
Absolutely.
So what they do is truly remarkable. And the more time I spend with them, the more I just fall in love with what they do. So yes, shout out to them. And there's so many volunteer opportunities and fun, easy opportunities.
Yeah.
I go in and we do game nights with the young people.
I love that.
We do spa night.
So there's an LA one. I'm so getting involved genuinely.
And
not just donating, but
you can start a sleep out. They do these sleep out events where we sleep in what's the word I'm looking for? It's not cosplaying being on the street, but you do it in support of the experience, and we'll sleep in the alleyway underneath their bedrooms, and we sing them a good night song, and so they can look down and see all these people in entertainment supporting them and doing this for them. And I think this year we raised $250,000 for the one night event, which was really great.
Wow.
So we've been doing it. I've been doing it for 8 years. My friends that started it have been doing it for 13.
You're deeply involved. That's amazing.
It's really amazing. And just the more time I spend there, the more I want to help them.
Yeah.
So they're great. You can donate. I have my sleep out link is open until September. If you want to donate directly, you can donate directly.
Okay, great.
But you get involved. There's so many ways to support them, big and small.
Again, thank you for the impact that you make, not only in the entertainment industry, but for homeless youth. That's amazing and so inspiring.
Thanks.
Because I think with the platform that we do have, we need to be.
It's just, it feels so good. We give back in our jobs in so many ways. So to keep giving back into the world is just so important.
Yeah. Thanks, Karlee. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It was so good to see you. Also,
I know.
You have a really good podcast voice. I meant to tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I listened to some episodes in preparation. I was nervous. And I was like,
And
wow,
how
it's
easy
like
was it?
ASMR. It was really easy. I think I've never done a very I'm talking in a mic and looking at someone. And there's
really?
I keep forgetting there's cameras, and it's
That's good. That's how I want it.
I'm
Just
I'm
me
mostly
having
turned away from the cameras, I think.
No,
but
you were really turned out. I noticed. I was like, oh, she knows the camera.
I didn't mean to do that. But thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.